Today on Forbes, from the school of Elon Musk to billion-dollar startups, meet SpaceX's alumni founders. In January 2002, Elon Musk strolled into a warehouse in Los Angeles, where he spotted Thomas Mueller hoisting an 80-pound engine over his shoulder as he bolted it into the lower thrust structure of a rocket. This wasn't a day job. Mueller, then an engineer at aerospace manufacturer TRW, would often spend his weekends with amateur rocket club Reaction Research Society to build new kinds of rockets outside his scope at work. Musk had shown up at the club's headquarters to sell its members, including Mueller, on his vision of building a space company that would enable humanity to one day colonize Mars. Before Mueller had the chance to set the engine down, Musk began firing question after question. Mueller recalls, quote, "in very typical Elon fashion. What is that? Is that a big engine? What's the biggest engine you've worked on?" "A 650,000-pound engine for TRW, he responded hesitantly. After all, the only thing Mueller knew about Musk was that he was an internet millionaire, recently ousted from his CEO position at PayPal. But it didn't take long for the two to click. When asked if he could build an engine of similar scale from scratch for Musk, Mueller said yes, even though he knew the real answer was no. Mueller said, quote, "That was the optimism and the naivety that Elon wanted to see because that's the way he was, too." The very next week, on Super Bowl Sunday, Mueller invited Musk over to his house, where they and a few other members from the Rocket Club conceived what came to be known as the Merlin engine. A few more meetings later, in April 2002, Mueller officially signed on as employee number 1 at SpaceX, where he spent the next 2 decades as one of Musk's right hands. Today, that Merlin engine powers the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, famous for revolutionizing the space industry because they're reusable, allowing for more frequent, lower-cost rocket launches. That propelled SpaceX to an $800 billion valuation, helping turn Musk into the world's wealthiest person, with a net worth of $723 billion as of late Friday. It's also set the stage for a mega IPO that could value the company at up to $1.5 trillion this year. As anticipation bubbles among SpaceX investors and employees for what could be one of the largest public listings of all time, there's another group eagerly anticipating the IPO: early space tech investors. Chad Anderson, founder of space-focused investment firm Space Capital, said, quote, "This is where it starts to get really fun. This massive wealth-creating situation for a lot of SpaceX employees is certainly going to create a dynamic where we see a lot more founders." They'd be in great company. In the last 10 years, SpaceX has spawned a whole generation of talented engineers that have gone on to start a total of 141 new companies, according to Alumni Founders, a data project that tracks startups founded by those who have worked at SpaceX for at least 1 year. Mueller, who left the company in 2020, founded his own startup, Impulse Space, to build vehicles that move satellites and cargo across different orbits to prevent the need for rocket detours or relaunches. In June, Impulse hit a $1.8 billion valuation after it raised $300 million, bringing the company's total funding to $525 million. Mueller's startup is one of 12 SpaceX alumni-founded companies that have nabbed billion-dollar valuations. It's a list that also includes rocket makers like Relativity Space, valuation $6 billion, and publicly traded Firefly Aerospace, with a $3 billion valuation. Missile manufacturer Castellion, $2.8 billion valuation. Satellite maker Apex, $1 billion valuation. And aircraft manufacturer Hermeus, with a $1 billion valuation. This year, the largest funding rounds in space tech were dominated by former SpaceX staff companies, including K2 Space, total raised in 2025, $375 million, Impulse Space, $300 million raised, Varda Space, $187 million raised, Hermeus, $160 million raised, Ursa Major, $150 million raised, Muon Space, $147 million raised, and Exona Space Systems, $92 million raised in 2025. In total, SpaceX alumni startups across space tech, AI, energy, mobility, and other verticals have raised $10.6 billion in the last decade and created more than 7,000 new jobs. For full coverage, check out Alicia Park's piece on forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.